welcome to another Lenten Daily Devotion with Pastor Andrew, that's me. We continue our journey of shoes, and the thing is, the reading it has for today is Exodus 12:11 through, and then it's blank. So I'm looking, and I think it is through 15, so that's what we're going to do. And it reads, this is how you shall eat it, your loins girded, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it hurriedly, for it is the Passover of the Lord. For I will pass through the land of Egypt that night, and I will strike down every firstborn in the land of Egypt, both human beings and animals. On all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment, for I am the Lord. Let's finish there. That's just 11 and 12. What do we have here? We have sandals. Put on your sandals. Be ready. This is the first Passover meal, right? What is Passover? It is what happens, what is guided by God with the 10th plague in Egypt, right, in the book of Exodus. And God says through Moses, get together, make this meal, very humble meal. If your neighbors can't afford it, invite them over and share the meal. And then take the blood of the goat, which you're eating, and paint it over your door. So then the spirit of death will pass over your house. And then that's celebrated every year. Passover is what is celebrated the night of the Last Supper. I'm sorry, there's lots of cat hair flying around here. So these are shoes, these are sandals of escape. Tom Kiefer's collection of photographs, entitled El Sueño Americano, features an image after image of items confiscated from migrants crossing the border into the United States. Once apprehended by Border Patrol agents, non-essential items are taken and discarded. Kiefer, who worked for 10 years as a janitor at the Border Patrol station, noticed these items, retrieved them, and began taking pictures of them. The images haunt the viewer because it is row after row of water bottles, a collection of small blue New Testaments and Psalms in Spanish, children's drawings, and there is a lone stuffed toy. Extra clothing gets taken away by a Border Patrol, as do the shoes not on the person's feet, any extra shoes. Belts and shoelaces, dubbed potentially dangerous to self or others, get tossed into the garbage, leaving their former owners to go through the court proceedings without them. The objects reveal the dangerous nature of the journey of escape. Essentials like water to survive the desert heat and shoes that withstand the miles and miles of walking speak to the physical challenges faced by desperate travelers. The rosaries and handwritten notes tell of the spiritual hopes that spur men, women, and children to keep going despite the minuscule odds of making it to the promised land. The toothpaste, nail clippers, and combs remind us of the universal basic human need for hygiene and dignity. The row after row of baby food jars defies words and simply moves me to prayer. People fleeing horrific circumstances take little with them. We see that every day at the border of Mexico. Not only our Hispanic brothers and sisters, our siblings, but people from Central America and even South America travel all the way hoping to come to the U.S., which still, you ask people, and they say the streets are paved with gold and there's freedom and opportunity, all these things. And then, of course, the people of Ukraine seeking to get out of life-threatening situations, and a lot of times all they have is what's on the clothes on their bodies, and that's about it. These people must take needed items for survival, think carefully about shoes that protect them, and make for easy movement, and are sturdy enough to withstand the difficult terrain for long periods of time. And yet, these images show our deepest need to be connected to past and future, home and hope, and hoped for new beginnings, community, and God. Professor Gregory Seller of Austin Presbyterian Seminary works with children who have traveled across the desert to get to the United States. He and his wife started a project called Art de Lagrimas, Art of Tears. Migrant children are invited to draw their home or their journey. Seller, who writes and teaches about migration and immigration as a part of his study of the Old Testament, noted the powerful religious imagery in the children's art. The Bible and lived reality may be separated by historical distance, but in terms of essence of those two stories, the story of the asylum seeker today and the patriarchs, they speak to each other. Shoes, a staff, a meal eaten quickly. God instructs the Israelites to take the bare necessities for making the long, dangerous journey of migration to the Promised Land. No doubt they, too, looked around and tucked in their backpack or pockets symbols of home, reminders of God's presence, and relentless hope in God's promised future. So again, two questions with several mixed in there. Have you ever had to leave your home quickly? If so, what did you take? If not, if you are forced to flee your home, what would you take with you? You know, a while ago, people would say, oh, grab the photo albums. Well, now we have our smartphones with photos and videos saved on them. We have the cloud, right? What would we grab? Pets? Yeah. I'm just looking around in this room, and there's not one thing I would grab. You know, computers? No. COVID tests? No. Yeah. And it's sad because then all you feel is this is just junk. But I mean, think about all the people that have had to do that. I think about Europe during World War II. I think about, other countries in the midst of turmoil, the Ukraine, Mexico, Central America, even people from Canada, people wanting to go to Canada. I don't know. What would you take? Second question, when you hear about people leaving their homes and crossing borders, what is your reaction and why? Big question. Let's close in prayer. God, you called your people out of oppression and slavery to make the long, arduous journey to the Promised Land. The Promised Land of freedom and safety. We lament the need for so many of your children to flee their homes due to violence, war, and poverty. Grant them safety, give them respite, make for them places of welcome. Bring us all to your promised place where everyone has enough and hurt and destruction are no more. Amen. Big things to think about today, even amidst typos. We jump to the book of Ephesians tomorrow when we finish up this week of shoes, really of sandals. And we enter into, the last week before Holy Week. Oh yeah, next week will be good. All right, until tomorrow, God bless.